We're going to go over the stimulus check for people that didn't receive it. I'm going to update you on the status of the $3.5 trillion human infrastructure bill. There's a big problem with the bill, and Democratic leadership is not addressing it. It was a very disappointing report. The remainder of Hurricane Ida hit the Northeast with record rain and flooding. After America left Afghanistan, members of the European Union want to form their own military. This is your Friday news, and I hope you're having a very nice day. The August jobs report that was released, it was a very disappointing report. Expectations were that we would add 720,000 new jobs. We missed expectations and we only gained 235,000. The unemployment rate dropped from 5.4% to 5.2%. Professional services added 74,000 new jobs. Retail lost 29,000 jobs. There are 5.6 million fewer jobs compared to pre-pandemic levels. I want to provide this information to help people that are missing their stimulus checks. This is regarding parents that had or will have children this year, and for others who completely don't know what happened to their stimulus check. And I have some good advice for everyone else as well regarding missing money. So let's begin with the newborns. If you had a child this year, or you're going to have a child this year, and you didn't get your stimulus check for your child, then you will get a stimulus check. But in order to receive the stimulus check money, you need to file your tax return next year. Millions of Americans don't file a tax return because they're not required to. But in order to claim that stimulus check money, you need to file your taxes. In the situation where your stimulus check was sent to you, but you never received it, you can either try working it out with the IRS, or you can check to see if that money went unclaimed. New York has over $15 billion in unclaimed cash. California has over $10 billion in unclaimed cash. The states are legally required to contact the owner, and if they can't contact the owner, it gets sent to the property office. In many states, there is no deadline to claim the cash or property. So if you want to take a look, I'll leave the link down below, and hopefully you find some money. In political news, the senior politicians are working on the human infrastructure bill for $3.5 trillion. The rest of the politicians are on vacation, but the top politicians are drafting up the bill. So you can call this the human infrastructure bill, or the reconciliation bill, or a stimulus package or stimulus bill. It's all different names for the same thing. This is the bill with paid family leave, the extension of the child tax credit payments, money for child care, free community college tuition, universal preschool, the expansion of Medicare, etc. So here's what's going on. The Democrats, they have enough votes to pass the bill without the Republicans, so this bill is coming from only the Democrats. The Democrats in the House of Representatives are drafting their own version. The Democrats in the Senate are drafting their own version. They're similar, but they're not the same. The House Democrats and Senate Democrats are negotiating with one another. They're negotiating over the smaller details. For example, the Senate Democrats, they want to extend the child tax credit payments until 2024. The House Democrats, they want to extend it until 2025. The Senate Democrats, they want to focus more on expanding Medicare, and the House Democrats, they prefer to use the money to expand Obamacare. But there's a big problem, and Democratic leadership is basically pretending that it doesn't exist. It's very strange because they're not addressing it. So here's the problem. Every Democrat in the Senate needs to vote yes to the bill. Otherwise, the Democrats, they're not going to have enough votes for the bill to pass. We spoke about how Senator Kyrsten Sinema said that she's going to vote no to the bill if it costs $3.5 trillion. She said it's too expensive, she's not going to change her mind, and it's non-negotiable. So now we have Democratic Senator Joe Manchin saying the same thing. So before he was saying that he was iffy about it, but now he's flat out saying that he's against it. Senator Manchin is saying that he won't support the bill if it costs $3.5 trillion, and he says that we should take a pause on the bill to think about it. So here's Manchin's exact quote. I would ask my colleagues in all of the Senate to hit the pause button on the $3.5 trillion. Let's sit back. Let's see what happens. We have so much on our plate. We really have an awful lot. I think that would be the prudent, wise thing to do. So I'm going to read you more quotes from Senator Manchin. Manchin said, instead of rushing to spend trillions on new government programs and additional stimulus funding, Congress should take a strategic pause. A pause is warranted because it will provide more clarity on the trajectory and it would allow us to determine whether inflation is transitory or not. And one last quote from Manchin. Manchin said, I, for one, won't support a $3.5 trillion bill or anywhere near that level of additional spending without greater clarity about why Congress chooses to ignore the serious effects inflation and debts have on existing government programs. Senator Bernie Sanders is writing up the bill in the Senate. Bernie looked at Manchin and said, you gonna vote for the $3.5 trillion? Manchin responded with, hell no, Bernie, I'm not gonna vote for the $3.5 trillion. Bernie responded, well, at least you're honest with me. So that's the current status, and we'll see what happens. So I hope that this helps break down for you what is going on. In international news, many countries in Europe had personnel or interest in Afghanistan. After America withdrew from Afghanistan the way we did, European countries are upset with us. The European Union is saying that they need to rely less on the American military, so they want to form their own military, the armed forces of the European Union. The countries within the European Union have their own military, but there's no joint military. The High Representative of the European Union Security said, the need for more European defense is needed after the events in Afghanistan. The High Representative tried to create a military force of 50,000 soldiers, but that got rejected on Thursday. Now the European Union is exploring the idea of having a smaller military of just 5,000, which would really be like a special ops team. In current events, what's left over from Hurricane Ida has caused record rain and flooding in the Northeast. The flooding has left dozens of people dead. In Connecticut, a state trooper died after being swept away by floodwaters. Central Park, Newark, and New Jersey got 3 inches of rain in 1 hour, which is the most ever recorded. New York declared a state of emergency. A resident of Queens in New York said, it's terrifying. If you're not in the right place, you're a goner. There's chaos outside, there's loss of life, I've lost everything and we need some support. This is too much for us. New Jersey declared a state of emergency as well. Tornadoes touched down in New Jersey and Pennsylvania. In New Jersey, the majority of storm-related fatalities were people inside their cars when the flooding overtook the vehicles. The governor of New Jersey said the past 24 hours have been extraordinary and tragic. The governor said, stay off the roads, stay home, and stay safe. President Biden is in New Orleans today to assess the damage of Hurricane Ida. Hundreds of thousands of people are still without electricity, and there's currently a heat wave. The best way to summarize the situation over there is with a quote from a New Orleans resident, Myra Castro. Castro said, we're in the heat, we don't have lights. It's been almost 5 days. I have to sleep in my car, the kids are hot, we're hungry. Where's FEMA? Where's the Red Cross? We need help now. Can you help us? We got children here. I'm a single mom and I'm doing it by myself. It's hard out here. Can they help us? Where's the president? Can he come help us now? And I want to end with this interesting information. According to a study from the University of Colorado, MIT, and Harvard, research shows that if you wake up earlier, even by 1 hour, it reduces your risk of depression. Each hour you wake up earlier, the more benefit that you're going to get. Night owls are 2 times more likely to develop depression compared to morning people. If you're a night owl, in order to readjust your body into waking up earlier, it is recommended that you utilize light to keep your internal clock on track. For example, get more sunlight during the day with outdoor activities and make your nights dark by not using electronics before you sleep. Exercise earlier in the day to reinforce the signals that tell your body to wake up and go to bed. And don't eat right before going to sleep because it impacts your digestion and negatively impacts your sleep. That's the news for today. If you enjoyed today's report, please be sure to subscribe. I thank you for your support and I wish you a very nice weekend.